Hi and welcome everyone. Okay, so in today's lesson, I will be teaching you all about conjunctions. And I will be giving you example sentences, which I will need you to write in your notebook and highlight your answer. But before we get started with our lesson, I decided to make today's lesson a little bit fun and interesting, just to ease, our online studying. So I decided to go with Dr. Seuss. I decided to use some of his photos and to use some of his phrases that he used in his books. For those who are not familiar with Dr. Seuss, his actual name is Theodore Seuss, or Ted, and he was an American children's author. He was a cartoonist. He was an illustrator. He was a poet. He was a screenwriter and a filmmaker, and he is well known for his work, writing and illustrating more than 60 books under the name Dr. Seuss. So if you have, and also he is passed away. He has died in 1991. His movies, The Grinch, if you're familiar, or How the Grinch Stole Christmas, my favorite movie. And some of his books are The Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham. What is the other book? Let me remember. Oh, Places We'll Go, and many, many, many more interesting books. If you have not read any of his books, search him online, read it, watch his movies. They are so funny, and as a child, I loved Dr. Seuss. Okay, so now that I have introduced those who are not familiar with Dr. Seuss, let us start with our lesson. So today's lesson, again, is all about conjunctions. What is a conjunction? But before, I'm sorry, here's a phrase for you. Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. It's kind of a tongue twister, but remember this from Dr. Seuss. He wrote it. And let's begin. So, conjunctions are a part of speech that connects two words, sentences, phrases, or clauses together. In other words, a conjunction is the glue that holds words, again, clauses, both dependent and independent together. So there are three different kinds of conjunctions. One, we have coordinating. Two, we have subordinating. And three, we have correlative conjunction. And each one serves its own distinct purpose, but all working to bring words together. Okay? So, thanks to conjunctions, we don't have to write short, choppy sentences. We can extend our lines with simple words like and or but, and we can use a comma or two. So this is basically what conjunctions are. Now, I want to briefly say what coordinating and subordinating and the correlative, and then I will give you all of them together. So we have the coordinating conjunction that are words that come to most people's minds when they hear the word conjunction. So conjunctions join words, phrases, and independent clauses. With them, our short sentences can be joined into fuller lines. And we can use, for example, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So these for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so, these are considered to be coordinating conjunctions. So these join words together, they join phrases together, and our short sentence can become longer by using one of these. Next, we have the subordinating conjunction. And this always introduces a dependent clause, trying it to an independent clause. So what is the independent clause? A dependent clause is a group of words that cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. Now, on the other hand, an independent clause can stand alone as a complete sentence. Unlike coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions often come first in a sentence. Okay, so subordinating conjunction come in the beginning of the sentence. And this is because of the nature of the relationship between the dependent and the independent clause. In English, there are lots of subordinating conjunctions, but the most common ones are although, before, once, that, when, whenever, as, how, since, though, whenever, while, because, if, then, it, where, and why. These are the most common ones. These are the ones that we will be using and that we do use daily. So again, subordinating conjunctions are although, please write them down, although, before, once, that, when, whether, as, how, since, though, whenever, while, because, if, then, until, where, and why. And our last conjunction, like I said, is the correlative. The correlative are team conjunctions, okay? So they come in pairs, there are two, and you have to use both of them in different places in one sentence to make it work. So these conjunctions work together and relate one sentence to another. And some correlative conjunctions, the most common ones, the most common pairs that we use are both and, whether or, either or, neither nor, not but, not only, and but and also. So they come in pairs. Both and, these are a pair. Whether or, these are another pair. Either or, these are another pair. Neither nor, these are another pair. And not but, these are another pair. Not only and but and also are another pair. Okay, so now that I have introduced the three different types of conjunctions, now we will go through them. All the conjunctions that start with the A. We have after, we have although, we have and, is, as far as if, as long as soon as though, as well as. So these are the conjunctions that start with the letter A. And you can decide whether they are coordinating, whether they are subordinating, or whether they are correlative conjunctions. And here, the phrase from Dr. Seuss is, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. I love this saying. Think about it, and honestly, be who you are and say what you feel. Okay, next we have conjunctions that start with the letter B. Now we have because, we have before, both, and but. Okay? These are, if anyone can tell me in which type of conjunction these are, we have both, and we have but, both and but, and before, both, and but are correlative conjunctions. Okay, and so remember, because, before, both, and but, correlative conjunctions. Another phrase, today you are you. This is the one in the beginning. That is truer than you. There is no one alive who is youer than you. This is also written by Dr. Seuss. Okay, now conjunctions that start with E. We have either, even if, and even though. Either, even if, even though. Next, we have the conjunctions that start with the letter F, and we have one, and it is for. And this is, again, this is another one of his drawing, be who you are, say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter. Conjunctions that start with the letter H. We have how, and we have however. Again, how and however. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Read this over and over. I'm not going to tell you what it means. I want you to figure out what it means and do it. Be it. So again, conjunctions that start with H, we have how and we have however. Next, we have conjunctions that start with if. We have if by itself. We have if only. We have in case. And we have in order that. Again, if only, in case, in order that. Next, we have the conjunctions that start with the letter N. We have neither, nor, now. Again, conjunctions that start with the letter N, neither, nor, and now. Who can tell me which conjunction is nor in? I mean, who can tell me? I'm thinking that I'm in class. Nor is one of the coordinating conjunctions. If you answer that, thank you. And the phrase here that I have on the left says, sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. So what Dr. Seuss means here is you just gotta read it once, twice, 3 times, and you will get it. And the question may be simple, but when you see it, you think, oh my gosh, this is hard. But all it takes is just for you to relax, close your eyes, and just say, I know this, and it will come to you. Next, we have conjunctions that start with O. We have once, we have only, and or. Like I said, subordinating conjunction, once is one of them. Okay? Conjunctions that start with a P. We have provided. Conjunctions that start with the letter R, we have rather than, and next we have conjunctions that start with the letter S. We have since, we have so, and so that. So is one of the coordinating conjunctions. And this is a phrase that I love and I always tell my students, the more you read, the more that you read, the more things you will know, the more that you will learn, the more places you will go. Again, the more that you read, the more things you will know, the more that you will learn, the more places you will go in your future. Again, so conjunctions that start with the S, we have since, so, and so that. Conjunctions that start with a T, we have than, we have that, we have though, and we have till. Who can remember which type of conjunction these are from? Than, that, though, and till. These are from the subordinating conjunctions. Conjunctions that start with a U, we have unless and we have until. Also, until is one of our subordinating conjunction. Next, we have conjunctions that start with the letter W. We have when, whenever, where, whereas, wherever, whether, and while. And these are all part of the subordinating conjunctions. Next we have, and this is Dr. Seuss here, we have the conjunctions that start with the letter Y, and which we only have one, and it is yet. And who can remember in which conjunction yet is from? Is it coordinating or subordinating or correlative? Yet. Yet is one of the coordinating conjunctions, and when we use yet, yet introduces a contrasting idea that follows the preceding idea logically. Okay, so yet introduces a contrasting idea that follows the preceding idea logically. So when we are talking about two ideas, we can use yet. Now here are the examples, and I would like for you to write them in your notebook and highlight your conjunction. So what is the conjunction in this sentence? We have, we could go to the library or we can go to the park. Please write it down in your notebook and highlight the conjunction in this sentence. Next sentence we have, he neither finished his homework nor studied for his test. Again, write this in your notebook and highlight the conjunction. Our next sentence is, I went out because the sun was shining. I went out because the sun was shining. Write it in your notebook and highlight the conjunction, please. Next sentence, my friends and I will attend the meeting. My friends and I will attend the meeting. We can say the or the, doesn't matter. Next sentence, he tried but did not succeed. He tried but did not succeed. Where is the conjunction in this sentence? Write it down, highlight it, and send it to me. Next we have, did you go out or stay at home? Did you go out or stay at home? Write it down. Where is the conjunction? Highlight it. Next sentence we have, I did not see it, nor did they. I did not see it, nor did they. Next sentence, the sun is warm, yet the air is cool. The sun is warm, yet the air is cool. Now also, please repeat these sentences after me. It will help in your pronunciation, and it will help in your punctuation and the grammar. Again, write it in your notebook and highlight the conjunction in this sentence. Next we have, he is both intelligent and handsome. He is both intelligent and handsome. Next sentence, I will either go for a walk or read a book. I will either go for a walk or read a book. Write it down, highlight our conjunction. Next sentence, have you decided whether you will come or not? Have you decided whether you will come or not? Write it down, highlight our conjunction. And finally, we have also, write this down in your notebook so you remember. Write conjunctions, write all of them down, and if you can put them in the groups of subordinating or coordinating or, correlative, or if you can put them in the groups, that will be great. If not, just write them all down. So we have, three different kinds of conjunctions. We have the coordinating, we have the subordinating, and we have the correlative. Now, these are all that I just explained to you and read. Please write them down in your notebook. Now here I want to stress or emphasize on these conjunctions that are in our lesson in our Max book, page 23, 22 and 23. So conjunctions, although, though, even though, in spite of, despite, and however, these are all part of the contrasting conjunctions, which are part of the subordinating conjunctions. And like I said, each serve its own purpose, but they all work to bring words together. Although, we use although before the subject of the sentence. So when we want to make a sentence, we use although. Like I said, although becomes in the beginning of the sentence plus the subject plus the verb. For example, although Mike was sick, he went to school. Although Mike was sick, he went to school. Do you notice that we used although in the beginning, and then we have our subject, which is Mike, and then we have the verb. Also, in spoken English, we usually use though at the end of the sentences. The film wasn't very nice. I like the film though. Okay, we usually use though in the end of the sentences. But you can, you use it in the beginning or at the end. Though, we can also use though instead of although. Though and although are basically the same. There's no difference. So you can use although or though. And again, we use it in the beginning of a sentence. So we have though plus the subject plus the verb. Example, though Mike was sick, he went to school. Same meaning, same thing. There is no difference. So same thing. Here we have in spite of and despite. So in this case, we use a noun, a pronoun after it. Okay, so for example, my father came to take me home despite the rain. Okay, so do you notice that we used despite in this example, and there is a noun, pronoun after despite. Next, we have even though. Now, even though is, the strong form of although. We do have it in our lesson. And how do we use even though in a sentence? Even though goes in the beginning. So we have even though plus your subject plus the verb. So an example to put it all together, we have even though she was really sick, she went to school. Do you see how it all came together? Even though she was really sick, she went to school. Even though she shouldn't have, because she would infect other students, but whatever. So this is even though. Again, even though is a strong form of although. They basically all have the same meaning. Although, though, and even though. And again, we use all of these in the beginning, and then we have in a plus subject plus our verb. Very easy, not hard. But I just wanted to tell you about all of the conjunctions, not just the contrasting conjunction, which is in our lesson, because you will need to know it for next year for 10th grade. Next, we have however. However, we can use however before adjectives or adverbs, and this is to emphasize these words. So, however, we use however plus the subject plus the verb as well. An example, however, she was really sick, she went to school. Okay, so however is saying like even though, or however she was really sick. يعني أيضا, مش أيضا, حتى لو هي كانت مريضة still راحت على المدرسة. So that is what however means. Or however she was tired, she went to class. And this comes to the end of our lesson. Conjunctions are easy, they're fun, they're very useful. We must use them to make our sentences flow better, to have, better sentences, to join two sentences and make it into one. They're very important. Our lesson talked about contrasting, but in this lesson I discussed, the 3 types of conjunctions, which you need to know. Please complete the exercise sentences I have given you. Highlight your conjunction. Send it back to me. Also, have a great day, and until our next lesson.